How you doing today, folks? About a month ago, my wife came home with some bird seed, and we put a bird feeder out, which you can see behind me here. And I will admit, I've never been a huge fan of bird feeders. Gardens I maintain with bird feeders end up with just a ton of weeds underneath the feeders. I know somebody once told me that, bird feeders attract mice, so you'll get more mice. And the final thing is just as a husband, it seems like loading the bird feeder becomes my job, and it pretty much has. What you're looking at behind you, they'll go through in about a day, 2 days tops, it'll be gone. And the other part of it, though, is the way we're looking right now is out the kitchen window, and it just amazes me all the different colors of birds that we've got around here. I've seen cardinals, seen goldfinches, there's these birds with red heads. I mean, there's a lot of really crazy colored birds. So I guess in the end, with all the minuses, I really am enjoying the plus of looking out the window and seeing the birds. I was at the pet food store a couple days ago to get the fruit and nut mix we've been using, and I ended up getting some peanuts for the squirrels, and I also got this big, they had a sale, they had this big suet thing, which I think was for the woodpeckers. It was on sale, it was half off. So I wanted to make something to put my peanuts for the squirrels and the suet feeder on. I went to the dump today and I picked up, you'll see there's a log leaning on the fence, which the birds have been using already. I picked that log up, and all I want to do today is just dig a hole, maybe 18 inches, 2 feet down, stick that in the ground, and put that log so when I'm looking out the window, I can keep the birds or the squirrels above the fence. I enjoy watching the squirrels too. So all we're going to be doing basically is taking that log, digging a hole, stick it in the ground, find a platform so that when we're feeding the birds can go to this feeder and the squirrels that feeder, or if we've got more than one squirrel, they can kind of separate. I noticed with the squirrels, there's usually the dominant squirrel chases away the other ones. So hopefully by having some space there, the smaller squirrels will get some food too. We had some oranges and my wife put them out and something ate them, so we put some more out and whatever it was ate them again. And so this is the last of the oranges we had. It was a little bit late in the season. They don't taste as good as they do when they're in season. But if anybody knows what would eat an orange like that, let me know. Because after about 2 days, they just this thing is just cleaning out whatever's on the inside. My plan here basically is the feeder's right here. So this is some baptisia that's coming up. And then over here, there's a clump of Joe Pye weed. And then here we have some meadow rue, which is going to grow quite tall. So I'd like to put the feeder or my little post like right around here. And as long as I can get it above the fence, I'm happy. And I think I have plenty of height to do that. I'm going to try to put the dirt in the wheelbarrow so I don't make a mess of the garden. See how that goes. If you just take your pry bar, you kind of stick it in at the edge of the hole and then push it back, it's going to loosen that soil, and as long as you don't have any big rocks, it'll clean out real nice. We have very sandy soil around here. This house used to be the farmhouse, so digging is pretty often just a pleasure, and it is here yet again. I think that might just be enough. I am putting my log in the hole upside down so I have more room to screw in on the top here, but I don't think the animals are going to mind. And then your pry bar has this flat side for tamping things down. So we're just going to eyeball this I don't know if a raccoon's going to be climbing up here or not. I know they got some bears in the area too, but that should be enough to keep it in place. Okay, that should do it for putting our post in the ground. Now we just need a board for the top. Behind me is my wood pile, and it's loaded with stuff that I milled, but it had, you know, checks or cracks in it, or I milled it too thin. But I found a couple pieces of, this is red maple, Acer rubrum, and it's got a live edge. And I think one of these two boards should be just enough to screw to the top of that log and give me a real nice place to put my peanuts for the squirrels, or that suet log too. And it's funny, you know, when I was cleaning out the backyard this year, I had a couple like 6 to 8 foot long pieces of cedar that were straight, but their diameter was too small to use for what I'm, you know, for milling, so I cut them up into firewood. And now one of those cedar posts would have been perfect for what I'm looking to do, but I just don't have the room to store, you know, all that extra wood. I think I'm going to go with this one. That's pretty close. Let's get one screw in it, and then we can always tweak it from there. That is level. And we just need to raise it just a touch this way. I don't think the birds will mind that. It moved a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about it. We put it at an angle so that the water drains off of it. That's what we're doing there. So it was a Woodpecker classic seed log that I picked up. 50% off, oh yeah. You hear that bird? I don't know, it almost looks like I should put a nail in the middle of that. But we'll just assume the woodpeckers can figure this one out. And then for the squirrels, we got some Wild Delight in-shell peanuts. See if our squirrels like peanuts. Okay folks, well we're all set, and as you can see right over my shoulder here, we have enough food for the woodpeckers for a month, and then we have our nut and fruit mix there, which will last a day. And then we got our peanuts on top there too to encourage the squirrels to spread out and let the smaller squirrels get some food too. Can't say this was one of my most riveting videos ever. You know, I'm just pretty happy that I didn't go to the hardware store and buy a board. All this cost me was 3 screws and a little bit of time to set up, and otherwise we're good to go. So I'm gonna just go ahead and leave the camera set up. We'll see if we can get some shots of who shows up later, and we'll just take it from there. Thanks for watching folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye.